woman realize that health plays a big part and yet we continue to ignore it?
Shruti, I can say about myself, and that is, you said I'm in great shape, which is what it looks like. Not really, because I think shape is also about being fit, and
Yes.
which I think I have a long way to go.
Okay.
It's not about being thin, so that's not the thing. I had great metabolism, it lasted me for a while, never went to the gym, but I keep saying that's a regret that I have. I should have paid more attention.
Yes.
And like I now keep saying, muscles are my best friends. I have to keep telling myself that I need to love them because I don't have them and I need to work on them. So again, like you said, and I agree with Sairi, it was when I had my child.
Yes.
And all my old injuries, I don't think anybody really knows it, but most of my career I've danced on one leg literally because I had had a knee surgery, never went through my physiotherapy and kept working through it all, thinking I'm invincible. I was, till it came to a point where I had the baby, and then suddenly I felt like my joints were jellies. And I didn't know what was happening to me. I didn't know how to deal with it. My hormones were all over, and this was happening to me. So suddenly I was so totally out of control, where my body was concerned, where my health was concerned. And that was a wake-up call. And I had to literally restart physiotherapy, learn to walk again, stand again in the correct posture, because that's so important and we don't give it importance.
Yes.
We think it's the most normal thing. And like she said, it was when this happened to me that it was a wake-up call, and I said, oh my God, I need to pay attention to myself. And that's when I started paying attention. And I feel I did leave it a little late in life. I should have done it earlier.
Okay, well, like we can all just hope that none of us end up ignoring it long enough for it to become irreversible. Talking about the next point, since we have some amazing experts with us here, why do women end up ignoring their health, and what kind of challenges does that pose for their health in the future? Let's start with you, Dr. Pai.
Women, I think, are amazing, dynamic beings. They're just constantly changing, physically, emotionally, hormonally. So you start with a young girl who's just starting menstruation, how her body changes when she starts menstruating. And then her whole youth, she goes through so many changes. She may have bleeding issues. She may develop hormonal problems. Nowadays, polycystic ovarian syndrome is so common. Thyroid issues are common. Young girls today are so sedentary. They're studying all the time, or they're in front of the computer all the time. So physical inactivity. A lot of girls put on weight at this time. I see so many young girls, like on an average, every single day, 1/3 of my clinic will be full of young girls coming with obesity, acne, facial hair, weight gain, period irregularities. So many problems which young girls face. And then this young girl, who's not really in perfect shape, goes on to get older, get married, have her children, completely unprepared. Practically nobody comes to me prior to their pregnancy saying that we want preconception advice. How should we change our diet? How should we change our lifestyle? Nothing. They just go become pregnant. And then through their pregnancy, they come for some, care. After which, then, they're having the babies, they're running around, they are on least priority for themselves because children are important. As they grow older, 30s and 40s, so many problems, physical problems. They develop fibroids, endometriosis, diseases, bleeding problems. And all of this is neglected because, children are growing up and husband's busy. So everything is, prioritized except them. And then perimenopause, menopause, for which they go in completely unprepared. So unfortunately, the woman is completely unprepared at every phase of her life. And she's receiving all kinds of, changes are happening, and she's not ready to fight any of them because she hasn't sorted herself out. She hasn't prioritized herself. She hasn't looked for help. She hasn't gone to anybody for some kind of information or counseling, nothing.
Okay, talking about weight gain, which seems to be the one thing that seems to get everyone up and talking about themselves. And like Sonali said, that being in shape doesn't just mean being thin, it also means being fit. I'd like to pose a question to Pooja, who I think is a person who's instrumental in helping lots of women get into shape, but with unrealistic goals and without any sort of personal commitments. Pooja, what do you think that women who ignore their health in their early years or even maybe post their 30s, what kind of health issues do they sort of set themselves up for in their later stages?
Well, to begin with, I think when it comes to the diet or the meal plan for the homemaker or the mother or the woman herself for the home, I think there's just so much that she tries to juggle with having a different diet for her kids, which is very different from what her lean, fit, or overweight husband needs, and what her diabetic or cardiovascular diseased father-in-law or mother-in-law needs. That what should be her particular diet and what should she be eating is never given a second thought. Whether it was the remnants of the bacha's tiffin that became her lunch, or it was, I don't want to waste food, so it was last night's meal that was her lunch. I think we all come with so much on our plate that there's really not much nutrition we keep on our plate. We try to manage so many different roles and make sure that my child eats her 2 fruits of the day. I don't know how many women actually check whether did they eat the 2 fruits of the day. So I guess, as doctor said, it starts very nascent when they are younger, because nutrition was never given the importance. But as our world has now become a media for social exposure, and every woman or every person has become a celebrity in their own right, and all of us have faces and facets to show about where we are and what we are eating and what we wear and where we party, that now everyone has suddenly woken up to say, hey, I better look good.
Yes.
As Sonali really clearly pointed out, looking good or looking thin is not healthy. I can lose weight and lose all my health with it.
Yes.
Or I can say I can do it the right way. But as a shortcut, and to those who have no time to manage what they need to eat because they have just so many things that they are otherwise juggling with, they do it ignoring health. So I think it's a cumulative role and a cumulative process that starts from the teenage years of ignorance, builds up to getting married and running on honeymoons, losing weight to wear that chanya choli and then wear the bikini on your honeymoon, and then it all creeping in. Using pregnancy as a disguise to say I crave X and I crave Y. And then it all hits you later when you have ignored yourself, and really, as she said, I love my muscle. Most women wake up when they have just so much body fat that their metabolic rate is down and under. So that's what hits it, and once it hits is when, so I guess nurturing and educating about food, nutrition, and importance of balancing the act of life and food,
Yes.
is something that I think we are really taught to do a lot. I think as a child we are taught like how to be a good sister, how to be a good daughter, how to be a good wife, how to be a good daughter-in-law. But I don't think we're ever taught our relationship with food.
Yes.
Never taught what the proteins do for you, how essential the carbs are for you, what are the vitamins, where's the glow, where's the skin, how's the hair. Those are integral relationships with food. And if that is not taught, we stumble.
Yes.
And I'm not saying others, I would say everyone stumbles. Ignorant people as well as educated people. So people who have loaded fridges or people who have poor no food. It's not the question of availability, it's the question of ignorance or importance that has not perhaps been nurtured.
Okay. You know, talking about loving muscles, we should talk to Yasmin about that. You know, Yasmin, correct me if I'm wrong. Somewhere, I think women may still be a little wary about, oh, I shouldn't eat sugar, or I shouldn't have dessert, and I mustn't have a cola, and I should be careful, and blah. Exercise is something that almost a majority of women pay no heed to. They feel, okay, if we're eating right, then we're doing our part towards our health. Even if you're slightly inclined towards being fit, you'll probably focus on making sure that I'll eat my 2 fruits and I'll have my muesli and I'll do this and I'll have my milk, blah, blah, blah. But exercise, no, that's not necessary. I'm eating right. Do you think you face a lot of people like that?
Most definitely. I think most people relate exercise with men. And what Sonali said about muscle, when you talk to a woman about muscle, she's thinking she's suddenly going to start looking like Salman Khan or Arnold Schwarzenegger. And, you know, they don't understand that it's not, I mean, theirs is hypertrophy muscle, which is huge muscles which they require for the role. But muscle is very essential to your body because That's what makes your body composition, the amount of muscle and the amount of fat that you have in your body. And muscle is what protects your bones as you age.
Yes.
And most women, as they grow older, are more prone to being osteoporotic and, get osteoporosis. And that is when muscle is what helps you, which is what nourishes your bones. And muscle doesn't mean, like I said earlier, big bulging muscles. It's just muscles that your body requires in order for you to stay healthy and fit. And I do have women who come in because they know I've trained X, Y, and Z, and they want to train, and they'll say, but we don't want to do strength training. We don't want muscles. We don't want to look like a man. And, I'm overweight, and all my fat will convert to muscle. And that's, I think I hear that almost every alternate day. My fat will convert to muscle. And fat cannot convert to muscle. They're very different. You can lose fat and you can build muscle. And you can build muscle so beautifully by just doing body weight exercises. And so for people who come to me with fear of, building muscles, I introduce them just to simple squats, wall push-ups, things that are very gentle on your body, and you're building muscle, and explain to them the importance, because as women, we are fabulous multitaskers.
Yes.
Ask us to play any role and we can play it. Absolutely. And ask us to look after ourselves and we look great in that dress or that little black dress. And like Sonali said, jeans play a very, very important role with a lot of people. But as you grow older, time's going to catch up.
Yeah, that's
and I always tell my people who say, I eat anything, I don't do anything, but look at the way I look. I look good, I feel great. Why should I bother with my diet and exercise when I'm looking so good? And I'm like, well, dude, there is going to be a time when all these things won't help, and your my mother was really thin, and that's how I am. But after she had 2 babies, this is the way she's become overweight. I'm like, so you're going to tell me you're not going to have babies? And that's when your metabolism changes and you eat what you want and you crave what you want, and you don't exercise because pregnant women are not supposed to exercise. Yes. Is the myth. But I think it's beautiful to exercise throughout your life, eat right, maintain the diet, the balance, and if you're not getting enough nutrition, then find it from other sources.
Thank you. So just a quick 30-second closing remark from all of you. What do you think that women can do to take care of their health that hopefully shouldn't take too much time and does not interfere with their professional and personal commitments, in your opinion?
I think just knowing that balance is a myth. We're never going to have a perfect day, so we might as well prioritize and be a little conscious about it and get all the help that we possibly can. Look at the amount of quality of help available. But I think just sort of making sure you give yourself 5 minutes in the day to think about your own health can do wonders, because that's your time, it's an investment in yourself, and it will appreciate.
Thank you. Doctor?
There is one definite strong message, and that is once in a year at least, give yourself 2 hours, get a complete health evaluation done. You don't have to be an old woman for that. Young women too can have a complete health checkup. It may include just your blood test, it may be your pap smears, a sonography, mammogram, bone density. If you do these basic tests once in a year, it'll go a long way in keeping away disease. Most women believe that absence of disease is wellness. It is not. If you start investigating, start finding out, every woman will come up with so many problems which are so easily preventable, so easily treatable at early stages. So do not neglect yourself till you fall sick. Look at it from the beginning. You will never fall sick.
Thank you, Doctor. Pooja?
Quick must-dos. I would recommend all women eat within the first hour of rising. Never start your day on empty stomach with caffeine. Eat frequently, never skip breakfast. Hydrate, very, very important. Many of us forget the importance of water. And a dehydrated body does not only look older, it feels slower, sluggish, So please make sure hydration is done well. And please, as much importance as you give the importance of food to the rest of the family, give a 5-minute thought to even what you're eating. Include fruits and vegetables. Drink a glass of vegetable juice. It's very good for the way you look and feel. And if there are needs or areas where there are nutritional deficiencies, which can happen, do not be hesitant on taking a nutritional supplement. It's a big myth that nutritional supplements make you gain weight and they're going to make you more hungry. It's not. It's very essential. Even for those, I would think that I do take care of what I eat. I still feel that a nutritional supplement is essential, and not taking one is not a good idea.
Thank you. Sonali? Yes.
I think first of all, there's a little, I think a certain amount of thinking needs to change. We as women are guilty about everything. First of all, we feel guilty when we are happy, when we are sad, when we are, for everything. The first emotion that we feel is guilt. And I think somewhere that's there in our society. We are brought up, our subconscious is that, we are brought up like that. And we need to kind of bust that myth. We need to kind of stop that. As women, we need to do that with daughters, with nieces, and the younger generation that's coming up. So for a small example, my mother wouldn't eat unless all her children had eaten, her husband had eaten, and everything. What would I do? First thing that I do is, before I run behind my son, I have my meal, because I'm irritable, I'm cranky, I'm prone to taking it out more on my husband and child because I'm irritable and cranky and hungry and my sugar levels are dropping. So it's better that I have my meal first, I'm happy, and I'm giving them more time. So understanding the fact that just by not having the meal before the rest of the family, you're not really helping. You're actually causing harm. So just small things like that, which sounds really, minute, but I think is a huge thing. Mindset, changing of mindset. And I agree with Pooja when she says that we need to bust few myths. One was where the workout is concerned, where nutrition is concerned, about nutrition supplements gaining weight. No, you need it. We don't know what we are eating now. The nutrition is changing. The things that we eat are so different. Definitely, our grandmothers and mothers ate things and survived, and so we should also. But we live in a different world. We really don't know what's going into the food and what is it exactly that we are getting. So getting the health checkup so that you understand what's going into your body, what is lacking, and then tackling it by adding supplements is the best way to do it. That's what I would say.
Yasmin?
So I have a very clear funda, and I like to tell everyone, be fit because you deserve it. And I think as women, all of us deserve to be fit because we are the ones who look after our families, and our husbands can do really well because we're there looking after the house and the kids, and our parents rely on us because, like, my kids are teenagers now, but now it's the worry about the parents getting older and their needs. So we're multitasking, and I think each of us deserve to be fit. And I have 5 very simple rules that I tell people, and one of them is move. We come from the animal kingdom. We are meant to move. Our lives are so sedentary now because we have cars, we have lifts, we have drivers, we have Gangabai getting us a glass of water, and we're not even moving to the fridge to bring our own glass of water. And all of us have mobile phones.
Yes.
And technology is wonderful. But when you talk to people, you can walk.
Yeah.
And I tell people, if you're not getting your exercise in the day, walk with your mobile phone so that you get moving, and you're not just sitting in one place and talking about different things, or how your kid was, throwing a tantrum in the night. Walk. That's the most easy thing to do. The second thing, like Pooja said, is hydrate. And most people forget to drink water. You ask a woman or even a man in the night how many glasses of water, and they can't account for it. And most of us go through our day without drinking water because we're so busy making sure our child is drinking water.
Yes.
So hydrate. And when you're thirsty, your body's already dehydrating.
Yeah.
So don't wait till you're thirsty to drink water. Drink water before thirst strikes in. The third thing is eat smart. We all are smart, right? We make smart choices in life. And when it comes to food, why is it that we don't make smart choices? All it takes is planning your day in the morning, mentally thinking what you're going to eat through the day and making sure it's available.
Yeah.
Most of us in urban societies have help, and it's not that difficult if you just take that 5 minutes to plan your meals. Breathe. Again, like drinking water, a lot of people are so stressed that they don't deep breathe. And if you spend 5 minutes in the morning just focusing on breath, forget even 5 minutes, just say 3 ohms in a day.
Yeah.
And you can, get your breath, because not breathing leads to so many problems. Hypertension, and I find that even in the gym, there are so many people who work out, but do they really breathe with their workout? They don't, because they just want to work out and run off. And so take the time to breathe. And the last thing is your attitude.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all about your attitude. I have no time for this, I have no time for myself, I have no time, I'm so busy. But I can spend half an hour on the phone talking to my friend. So really you do have time. And it's all your attitude. All it takes is to be positive and say, I can do this, and you will be able to do that. And like Pooja and Sonali said, food is so contaminated today. We don't know what pesticides are going in it. I, according to myself, eat a really, really healthy diet, but I eat my vegetables, I eat my fruits, but am I getting all my nutritions in? I don't know.
Yeah.
So, just taking a pure nutrition supplement is not a bad idea.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the lovely panelists. Can we please give them a huge round of applause? And can I request you all to please take your seats in the front row? Yes?